Juste une question que je voulais savoir. Étant donné que l'Écova était le fournisseur préalablement, est-ce que son prix a changé? Est-ce qu'il y a eu une augmentation de quel ordre?
En fait, c'est par rapport à son contrat de 3 ans, il y a une augmentation de 19 %. Donc, grosso modo, 6 % par année. Matrec, il y a 3 ans, avait bidé 31 % de plus que Ricova. Le prix de Matrec, il y a 3 ans, est encore supérieur au nouveau prix de Ricova. Ouais.
Merci. C'était une simple question.
Alicia Southall, Knowlton. You said we've canceled the contract, correct? Were there any penalties associated with the cancellation of that contract that the town had to pick up?
No, it was in the contract that we could if both parties agreed, and both parties agreed. So the contract is for 13 months, the month of December, and for the 12 months of 2025.
Right, but you said we canceled the existing contract.
Yes.
Okay, and there
As long
was
as both parties agreed.
okay, and there was no penalty associated
No.
with that cancellation because both parties agrees to do it without any penalty.
Exactly.
Okay. Could you just revisit what you said a moment ago, Mr. Ahad, if you'd be so kind? You were talking about Matrec and what increases they had and whether Ricova there was an increase in what they were quoting now. Could you just walk us through that again?
3 years ago,
more
we
slowly?
received 3 years ago we received 2 bids, one from Ricova and one from Matrec. Matrec was 31% over Ricova at the time. Okay, the new bid of Ricova 3 years after is still under the bid of Matrec 3 years ago. That's what I was explaining to Mr. O'Rourke.
Okay, all right. And so we have a chance to, this is a 13-month contract, and then we're revisiting the entire exercise again. At that point, they are free to quote any price that the market will bear? Is there anything that we have put into the agreement that...
It's a 3-year contract,
Mhm.
okay? But we're going ahead with a 13-month contract, and after that, each September year, the council will say, yay, we're continuing with the original contract of 2 years, or we're going for tender, or the MRC will take it over, because we've got an issue with the MRC and what the government, like Mr. Patterson explained, that all the recycle is taking charge by the companies that creates all the plastic and paper and all that, and they delegated their power to EEQ, and EEQ is starting in 2025 to take over the recycle part of the three-way garbage, and the MRC is looking into probably like the MRC of Otiamaska and Granby, where the town doesn't take care of the garbage, it's the MRC. So maybe the MRC will tell us, and through the Council of the Mayor, to take over all the transportation of waste garbage, recycling, and compost, and it's going to be given by them in the near future. So that's why we're going ahead with a contract of 13 months, and in next September we're going to see where the MRC are, and we're going to see also if Ricova is respecting the contract, because there's performance issues that we dealt with in the past. Ricova is not that bad for the moment, so but they're gonna look at it. We're gonna make a recommendation in next August to the council to renew or not the contract.
Okay.
You have the dollar amount already. The dollar amounts are already.
Everything's in the
It's
contract.
not called an option, it's called a window.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We can
It's
close.
a 3-year contract.
We
It's
can
a
keep the
3-year
window
contract,
open.
but it's got 2 windows.
Right.
After 1 year, there's 1 window. You can choose to pursue the contract or end the contract. And the second year is the same.
Without penalty.
Without penalty.
No, without penalty. No.
Personally, Don, I call it the same window. We either close it or we open it.
Yeah. Or throw them out the window.
It's cheaper with just one.
And finally, Councillor Patterson, I believe, mentioned that there were some performance criteria that were incorporated into the contract this year. Could you tell us what some of those measurements are that we're looking at as you move to assess performance after 13 months?
It's gonna be due to the number of complaints we receive, how it proceeds, if we have, like it was, if we go back to the first 6 months of the contract, all the complaints that we had, it was not a great 6 months.
No.
And they slowly got better. Drivers, they finally were able to hire drivers and that, but anyway, for the performance, it's all that. They do a good job, and if they don't, what are the complaints? And we go from there, and everything will basically be recorded.
In the devis, there's probably 6 or 7 performance, I don't know if you can read it then, Owen?
Well, there's 7 here that are listed. It's not a limited criteria. Those are 7 that are listed. I'll read them in French. Conditions de livraison, qualité des ressources, qualité de communication et de la collaboration, respect des échéances, qualité des services rendus ou conformité du bien, respect des obligations financières et tout autre critère jugé pertinent par la ville.
Donc, basically everything.
Right, so that's the criteria. The measurements associated with them are not in the contract, right? It's just the general headings, correct?
The idea is that the town would build up a dossier of non-conformity, non-performance.
Right.
At a certain point, the council might judge that it's reached a level that we would not pursue the contract and maybe even declare them not eligible for future contracts. Those are the possible eventualities.
Right, okay, so that means that even if they were able to continue to bid lower than any competitor, they would be out of the running if performance was sufficiently lacking or wanting.
Yep.
Right, and in it, that's there are no measurements specifically incorporated into the contract because, if I understand correctly, there's no penalty associated with not moving on after the 13 months, correct?
I don't think the two things are necessarily linked, but yes, both of those are right.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions?
Avec le sens d'horaire, les horaires.
Les horaires, non, il n'y a rien de changé.
Oh non, oui, c'est ça. Le cellule va rester comme tel.
Il y a juste, on coupe juste un ramassage d'encombrants.
Encombrant, oui.
Un encombrant de moins.
Mais ça, c'est ouais, dans le nouveau cellule. Avec toutes les factures.